hire strategic visionaries and effective integrators of proven digital marketing systems that enable people and businesses to grow, feel fulfilled, and unleashed in their potential. Our vision is to see all business owners and marketing directors sleep well because they have a great digital partner delivering them irrefutable value.
Yeah, man. That is what you eat, live, and breathe, isn't it?
Definitely.
When you and I had the conversation, and it feels like decades ago, about where you were at in your business, and there was this desire, this aspiration to do more, but you were grappling with some stuff. What was some of those things that you were grappling with?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that comes to mind is that we were doing a lot of things as a team as it relates to, different types of services or tasks in order to fulfill our responsibility to the client. But at the same time, we were really doing nothing. We had no collective vision from the leadership team all the way to everyone involved in the organization. And I started to sniff certain things that were bubbling to the surface, and it looked like unfulfillment amongst the leadership team and amongst the full team.
There was a disruption in the force.
Yeah, exactly. Why are we doing this every day? Is our purpose really to optimize media spend for an ad campaign? Is our purpose really to build animations and little snackable pieces of content for businesses' social media channels? It became, so what? Really, it was like the obvious scent in the room. and ultimately, how that affected me personally was that I was giving less to how I showed up every day, whether it be in front of prospects, in front of clients, in front of team members. It was kind of sucking the soul from what we were doing, because I knew that every day we showed up, we weren't getting any closer to anything that meant anything.
Yeah, there was a means to an end, and to what end? To so what, as you say. It's actually a really good question, right? You're doing X, so what? Who cares? Why does that matter? Everybody's doing that, right? Or a version of that. And so we started to have a conversation about the so what, right? The what's possible, what it could be, and why does it matter? What's the big deal about it? So you came into this engagement. I set a few little seeds there and ignited a little bit of curiosity around it. And then you said yes to an engagement of getting some clarity, right? Bringing people together and having a conversation about what's important and meaningful and will make the difference for everybody. When you came into the engagement, what were some of those assumptions that you had?
The biggest assumption I had coming in, and I don't think I've communicated this before to you, but the biggest assumption I had was that it was going to be me trying to convince everybody to get on the same page, right? It was like, okay, Caleb needs to find alignment with something of greater substance, and that's only going to be half my challenge. My real challenge is going to be, how do I convince everybody else? My assumption was that they were coming along for the ride, but not going to meaningfully participate in it. I guess that was my worry.
Yeah.
My second assumption was that we were going to have a lot of things prescribed to us, right? Instead of this very unique facilitation or pulling out of, substance that was already there. It was just kind of, covered up by something, whether it be fear or lack of being able to be vulnerable or whatever it was. So I was worried that it was just going to be, okay, well, here's what you do, here's what you don't do. And then, it becomes a sort of flimsy engagement overall.
Yeah. What actually happened?
Well, what actually happened was that, the first thing I was surprised by was how everyone was leaning in. And we started with our leadership team, obviously, right? There was four of us, and leaned into really picking apart and pulling back some layers of the onion. And I knew right away at that point that, okay, well, we have the ingredients necessary to make this a meaningful engagement. It's not going to be Caleb kind of defending what I believe to be our vision or our mission. And then I said, well, I better buckle up, because this is going to be a scenario where we're going to have to kind of wrestle through some things, right? This isn't going to be as clear shot as I thought it might be. But we're going to have to seek to understand each other. We're going to have to wrestle with some certain things. And then I became excited, because I knew that what was going to come out of this engagement was what I had been yearning for so long, and that was alignment around something. I didn't care that it was the best something that we landed on in terms of what I thought was the best. I was more yearning for finally an alignment amongst the leadership team to something that could be our guidance or our lighthouse or our North Star, however you want to say it, when we were going to, continue to go through the ship, which was, we were right in the thick of COVID at the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There was now a co-creation that was happening.
Right.
Instead of the prescribed, and you point to something that's super valid, because in the industry, especially in the industry of marketing, brand, communications, strategy, a lot of it is prescribed. Here's the strategy to execute. Nothing wrong with that, but when you're looking for something else, like there is an unresolved query, right? We're as leaders, we're in this contemplative state of like, is this it? Like, this can't be it. There's something missing here. And being so close to it, it can be, not to say it's not possible, but it can be really hard to distinguish it and uncover it, because we've got our own biases and our own hopes and dreams and assumptions of how it should be, but we actually don't know what it is. This intangible, the quiet aspirations of your people, right, which are rarely given the opportunity to rise up, because, well, Caleb's the one leading the show, or Tony's the one leading the show, and so who am I to say what's important to me? Would be a typical, stereotypical internal story for the employee.
Totally. And people support what they help create at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And this idea of prescribing, whether me as a leader of this organization are prescribing certain ideas or things to rally around to the team, or if it's us as marketers prescribing things to our clients, I think the reason why people prescribe, or they jump to that being their initial offering, is that there's a scarcity mindset. They're worried that if they seek to co-create, then they might be labeled as someone who can't do it on their own, can't lead the team by themselves, can't figure out the answer to the client's problems. But I think it takes a mature organization and a very strategic organization to lean into that and say, actually, you have the answer. And that's what I saw popping up right away when we were working with you, is that like within the first 10 minutes, it was kind of like, hey, listen, I have nothing to tell you here. I have an ability to pull it out, right, and co-create it, and then shepherd us along the ways and question certain things. I think that's our role as professionals, is to seek that co-creation. So what it resulted in, as it relates to our team and the buy-in, is that they truly felt that it was a co-creation. It wasn't just lip service, like, hey, tell me what you think about, my thoughts on the vision here. It was, people support what they help create. And that's what ultimately gives it the staying power. It becomes more than, just what's written up in the book, but it becomes something that is, has a chance of succeeding the test of time, because it's been created by the collective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, complete sense. Well, there is agreement and a collaboration that's happening, an authentic collaboration. And that word is used quite often, too often. It's become a cliche statement, right? To be authentic and be genuine. But if you were to actually honor what it takes to be authentic and be genuine, well, you have a completely different engagement that happens with people then, don't you? You're not trying to get it right. You're not prescribing it. You are creating it. You are generating it. You are allowing it to be whatever it needs to be in that moment.
Yeah, that's it.
So what are you doing with it now, all of this work?
How do you say it? I mean, how it's showing up day to day is being intentional about weaving the concepts into conversations. I think anytime you're getting something like this to stick, it's naive to think that we just had a kumbaya moment over the course of a month and it's just going to take root. There needs to be intention now to making it come alive, and that takes work. And we don't do it well all the time. We try to navigate difficult situations sometimes without the guidance of what we came together on as being our remedy for being able to get those. So, but I think what we're seeing now is almost an immediate realization that, hey, you know what, we've talked about this before and we've put it together in something. Let's go reference. And so, as a leadership team, what we've tasked ourselves with is being advocates for concepts and truths that we created that are now physically in the book, but being intentional about that. So, if we're celebrating somebody, we're celebrating for their embodiment of clarity through action, or focusing on the one thing, or extreme ownership, our values. If in another situation we're trying to make a decision on, should we work with this client that we're considering, they have the money, they have the money to do it, but should we do it because they're not at all in alignment to what our goal is to see the clients with the best products and service to win. We have that written in here. So it's a growing relationship, I guess, that we're having with it. But it's going to strengthen over intention and reference.
Yeah.
Physically, it's posted. I mean, we have stickers. I have stickers all over.
Nice.
My computer. We've given stickers out to clients who've been kind of curious about what does. One of the stickers says, "Hook and Ladder inspired me to blaze my own entrepreneurial trail." So we say, what does that mean? Well, as a team at Hook and Ladder, we want entrepreneurial spirit. We want people to feel that they don't have to align to a set system and process as we've defined it, but they can be entrepreneurial within the organization. Our clients can be entrepreneurial as they co-create systems with us. Another sticker is bond strengthened through adversity. So when we're looking at bad situations that happen to us, maybe we missed a deadline or whatever, it's that moment that gives us the opportunity to lean in and actually strengthen our bond. So posters all over the place, but it takes a very intentional effort, right, to make it come alive.
Yeah, it's not just a poster, is it?
Right. No, exactly.
Yeah, so it got sourced by something deeper than just words on a page. And this is the other thing that we as marketers and communicators the opportunities to be really responsible for, how we're guiding our clients through the use of language in how we communicate, and how integral and actually aligned that communication is with who we are as an organization, versus a tactic or a strategy. Again, nothing wrong with it, but short-lived, right? Doesn't stand the test of time. Yeah, really great, man. Well, I love the fact that I saw the stickers there.
Yeah.
Really?
That's awesome.
My boy just walks by with no shirt on.
Love it.
I love the fact that, yeah, I see the poster and the stickers.
That's another thing. Like, people I've been seeing on our team, something happens, scenario happens, and they say, that reminds me a lot of page 7, this section, right? So
it is in action. It is not a document, and I've mentioned this a few times. It's not a document that or an exercise of we've done that and we're good, and it gets shelved on the big display wall as a milestone of something achieved. It is living, breathing, as lived, used, applied, or it's useless.
Totally.
Right? There's no.
And I was worried about that, and I think because there's been scenarios in the past where we've gone through similar exercise, but for different realms of our business, and it just became an activity. Oh yeah, we did that once, right?
They would agree.
One other example I want to give is that we had one of the founding fathers of Hook and Ladder, right? wanted to expand into some other areas that have been drawing him for a long time. And he wanted to scratch that itch of supporting really, really small sort of startup businesses. And so what could have been taken at one point, but okay, you're leaving the team, you're leaving the family of Hook and Ladder and that kind of thing, we actually have embraced and embodied because it's woven right into what we developed. And that is blazing their own trails and always being a part of the core mission, because his core mission now with what he's focusing his time and effort on is very much in line with making his clients, rest assured and sleep easy at night, and celebrating or amplifying the businesses that have great products and services. Doesn't matter if they're a smaller size. So he made that comment to me as we were doing this transition, is that, everything we built in the core document, I'm going to take, and it still aligns with exactly what I'm doing, to the point now where he is still very much a part of Hook and Ladder, right? So that was a unique thing for me. That's awesome.
Are we kidding right now? So Isabella, I'm doing a testimonial video, and this is super distracting.
This is one of the silver linings of this whole thing, man. I mean,
oh my goodness,
embrace this.
So funny. What was I going to say? When I talk about the hidden opportunities, and it's obscure, right? It's hidden.
Yeah.
How do you uncover hidden opportunities? They're by design, they're hidden. But when you are aware, and the awareness as you are living your life and doing your thing and being in who you say you are as an organization, as a group of people coming together, you start to see the hidden opportunities because they're not hidden anymore. There is an awareness of them when they arise. And to your point with Connor and what he was looking for and what he saw and what he understood and how he could now connect the dots, it was like a no-brainer for everybody. You're right. It doesn't fit in some areas, and it's usually something to do with the fiscal ability, capacity for supporting the business, which we're all grappling with. But that does not negate the relevancy of the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool thing to see.
Totally. And to that point, the hidden things, I think one of for anyone listening that is sort of considering working with David, if you're planning on this being a passive experience, you should not call David. This is meant, you have to give a shit, you have to lean in, and those hidden opportunities, they're hidden, but they'll never become visible if you don't have your head on a swivel, if you're not leaning in, right? And so yeah, if you're looking for a passive experience, go somewhere else. I mean, this is going to be emotional at times, right? To the point where some of the questions that you would ask in as a way to sort of challenge answers, my blood would get hot, but that's a me issue, right? That's
Totally.
And if not facilitated or brought out through the process, maybe it's something that stays down there and calluses over time and sort of shapes the direction of how I engage with people going forward. So yeah, this is more than stickers in a book, but you need to put a lot into it.
Yeah, well said. Well, really great. Well, I appreciate the time and the trust that you bestowed to me in going through a process that you might not have had a necessarily 100% clear understanding, and rarely is it if it's something very unique and new, but there was a willingness to explore it, and that is innately inside of your organization's DNA, your people's DNA. And so it made sense for you guys. And you're right, this is only for those type of people. This is not for the quick fix, quick win mindset. Like this is the long-term play, the long game. So I'm really grateful that we got to play and play the game together and do the work, and just to see it, hear it in action is it's awesome. I'm just super grateful for it.
Well, me as well. And we'll be continuing to explore ways to make it come alive in individuals for us going forward, right? I think that the unique offering of starting with a team is awesome. And then excited to have individual leaders expand their own why, or figure out their own why, and have that be sort of a, you know, a personal guiding document in collaboration or in balance with the team they find themselves associated with. So.
Yeah, totally.